Good morning, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It is match day. We thought we would do a match day preview today. I've got all the guys from Leicester Fan TV joining me shortly. We want to ask you fans to make some noise today and back the club. And I guess this is my question to everybody today. Is today one of the most important days in our history? That sounds a ridiculous question considering it's Norwich at home in the Championship, when we've played Premier League winning title matches, European Cup semi-finals, all these massive matches over the years. Tony James, Oxford 1-0 at home. We've had massive games, but with everything that is going on at the club financially, the difference this season between a promotion to the Premier League and staying in the Championship and transfer embargoes and points deduction potentially in the Championship. That is my question today to you guys today. How important is it today that we beat Norwich and kickstart our season? Does it make it one of the most important days in our club's history just because of what's at stake next season? I want your views and I want your comments in the next half hour's match preview. Come on, Leicester.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content, like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live. Thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Follow Blinds, Pocker Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms and Rainbows. We are live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. A very, very important day. Don't forget you can follow us wherever you're watching at Leicester Fan TV. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We always appreciate that. That's my question. Is today one of the most important days in our history? How much can the fans in the ground, how much can we affect what goes on? How much noise do we need to make? Whatever is going on the pitch, I say to fans, keep that noise levels going and make it big. Is it a massive day for the club because of what could happen if we don't go up, because of transfer embargoes, because of points deductions if you'd stay in the Championship? It could be a very slippery slope down and down and down for Leicester City, and I'm talking about numerous years. That's why I said today is so important, and we must get some points today. We kickstart the promotion run today, if you ask me. Andreas, good morning from Cyprus. Must win, Phil. Yeah, absolutely, Andreas. It is must win. What can the fans do today to make some noise? Callum says, morning, off to work, working at the game today. Enjoy the game. Is anybody going to enjoy it today? Or are we just going to need to get through it? LCFC Gray says, come on, you foxes. We need points. I'll tell you what I'm going to do while we're here. I am going to share the link. If anybody fancies joining us, we're looking for any sorts of fans. Come on, give us your positive views. Tell us why you feel today is important. I've just shared the link in there. So if you want to click on it, do come in there. Nick says, got a feeling we are, though. Gray feels like last season. I know what you mean, Nick. I do feel about last season. LCFC Gray says, stop faffing about, play it long and play top. He is probably not going to do that. And we've got to, I guess, at the ground, you've just got to hold any, and just back him all the way there. Mark says, totally agree. I keep saying it. If we don't go up this season, it will be like 2005 to 12 again, all over again. Look at the likes of Pompey, Bolton, Stoke, Derby. I'll add into that, Mark. This is my fear. That's why today is so important, that players and fans alike need to realise what is at stake today. We've won an FA Cup a couple of years ago. We've won things, and it's one thing winning it and having the joy, but this is almost the reverse of that. A loss today and not promotion this season could become almost, this is the point, a pinpoint in time where you could look back in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years' time and go, how did we end up at the bottom of the Championship. How did we end up in League One? I don't want to be the bringer of doom, but today, Norwich, for me, needs to be a win. Scott says the fans need to be the 12th man, as it will spur the team on. We have shown how we can affect games when the fans really get behind the team. I agree, Nick. We've got to do that. We need to see something on the pitch, but the fans have just got to back it and make some noise in there. I'm going to add Reedy and Jamie in. Let's get them both in. Good morning. Let's start with you, Jamie, from Fox's Arms. Obviously, a great show yesterday in the Aftermath show. I want positivity today, Jamie.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm struggling, but I'm going there because we've got to back the lads today, come hell or high water. But, Jamie, is this a fantastically important day in the club's history or not? Am I over-egging it?
I wouldn't say it's in the history. I'd say definitely this season, 100% this season. This is probably the biggest game we've got this year. We shouldn't be in this position, like I said yesterday, but I'm trying to stay positive. We shouldn't be in this position. But yes, we need to make it like when we played Norwich a few years ago when we caused an earthquake in the centre. We need to make it that kind of noise. But sometimes, Phil, you need something on the pitch to make the fans get behind the players. And that's what we need. We need the players to do something so the fans can get behind them. I think it's great the position we're in, but it's just disappointing how we've fallen off a cliff at the minute. But it's great to see us where we are.
I mean, I think that's one of the interesting things, lads, is that it's still in our hands. This is the ridiculousness of it, is if we win, we've got one game in hand. If we win that, we're top of the table and the other teams are chasing us. So we go first, Reedy, today. We've got to set that scene and take the 3 points, haven't we? Because then you've got Leeds and Ipswich follow us. We've got to get back on to a winning format, haven't we?
Well, yeah, we said that when we played Bristol City, didn't we? And that didn't work well, did it? And no, I kept saying that the being first of the week, being first of the day in the games might be good because you can set the precedent, but then you've got all the pressure to make sure you win the game. So it can be good, it can be bad, but again, like you say, it's a massive game today. And I think it was like Norwich when we played them earlier in the season, that they were in good form at that point, and we wanted to beat them at that point to show that we are deserving of top of the league. And again, it needs to show it now again today. But again, they're in such good form, you never know what will happen today.
Jamie, I'm interested. Jamie from Fox's, bloody hell, who created two Jamies?
Hey, that's Reedy in the middle, and it's Jamie here, so we know which one you're talking to.
Yeah, that's right. Jamie, you don't seem to feel like me the risk factor that not getting promoted maybe feels, in the fact that I've everything I've been reading over the last week on FFP, and I believe we already have a transfer embargo in the Championship next season, which would mean we can't sign players, is my understanding. So the end of this season, you can't re-sign Jamie Vardy, I believe. You can't re-sign Wilfred Ndidi. You can't re-sign Kelechi Iheanacho. You can't sign players. God knows what the team would look like in the Championship next season with a transfer embargo. Derby happened, Jamie, a couple of years ago, and look what happened to them. Isn't that making it even more critical why today it has to be a win?
It's crucial. It is crucial that we go up. I mean, as much as I've said about I don't like the style of player football, I want us to go up because we desperately need the money more than what we've ever needed it before. I think it's even a worse situation than when we went into administration. At least the finances got looked after then a little bit by independent people. But I think we desperately need to go up to get some money back, because the parachute pay, people say, oh, we've got the parachute payments. We haven't got the parachute payments anymore because we took them out last year on loans. So that money's gone. We've got no money. And like you say, if we can't sign anybody and we go down a division, what we're going to do about money then, let alone, we haven't got money now, let alone in League One. How are we going to play bills at Seagrave, at the ground? How are we going to play staff? It's crucial we go up just because of the situation we are in at the minute, in a right mess.
Let's get a few comments in. Nick Moore's clicked on the link. Nick, I'll get you in very shortly. Chris says it's the players that need to create the good atmosphere. If we score in the first half, will Enzo then stick to normal routine, tippy-tappy, try to defend a 1-goal lead, and we can get 2 or 3 more goals? Yet Leeds, Ipswich have just as hard games today. LCFC Gray says it's true players were brawling in the tunnel, or says, is it true? And there's lots of rumours, Gray, of what was going on, but we just don't know. I don't think anything's been proven one way or the other. Scott says, in hindsight, if we don't go up, it may be a blessing not having players that want to play for the badge on the front of the shirt, albeit football may be poorer. I've seen some comments, Reedy, like this from fans, and I'm not sure, Scott, no offence, but I'm not sure you've quite worked out what happens if we don't go up this season. Don't get me wrong, Reedy, I think it'll be a mess next season if we got promoted with maybe transfer embargoes and certainly points deductions in the Premier League. But Scott say, I've seen quite a lot of fans say, oh, let's stick in the Championship. I've even seen some fans say, let's get relegated to League One and start again, which I'm just like, what the hell are you thinking? I think, I'm not having a go at Scott's comments there, but it's just really going to be such a tricky, almost impossible situation if we're in the Championship next season. It's almost a season next year. You'd just be happy to not get relegated, wouldn't it?
Exactly. That is the exact position
if
we'll
you
be
stay
in.
in the Championship.
I've heard many people say that I like this year. I'm happy to play all these teams and win loads of games, but no chance. The best chance we've got of getting out of this rut or mess is by getting promoted. Even if it does mean we get a 10-point deduction or whatever it is in the Premier League, it's the best scenario we've got. If we stay in the Championship, we're going to lose all the players we've got. Ricardo, you're going to lose Winks, you're going to lose all these quality players, and you'll be left with the academy squad in that way, because if you can't buy players, you'll be left with playing a team with like an academy. So it could be a lot worse than what we are now. And like I say, like you said, Phil, you'd be happy to not get relegated next year if we do stay down this season, which means that this game and every game going to the end of the season is so important.
Jamie, I think I just heard your dog squeak a noise.
Yeah.
Which went, "Rah, rah, rah." It feels like we should have a clown horn. I don't know how we as a team have gone from Premier League winners, FA Cup winners, European Cup, albeit the lower one, semi-finalists against Roma coming up to 2 years ago. How the hell have we got to a position of such mess, Jamie?
Phil, I just haven't. Well, my goes down to Brendan Rodgers, but I don't think it's just him. I blame him, to be honest, but I think it might be more factors than just him. But honestly, I don't think there's an answer for it. We used to be one of the clubs that used to be looked up at, and they're a really well-run club. And then all of a sudden, we just jumped off the cliff like a lemon. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know, Phil. I don't know the answer. I really do not know the answer to it. Why we've gone from being so good to being so bad. We sleepwalk into relegation last year, and we look like we're just doing it again this year. I wouldn't quite call it a bottle jobs, but it's just, I don't know, Phil. I really don't know the answer to it.
I think I'd call it a bottle job.
Scott says here, Scott replies to what I was asking, which is great. Thanks, Scott, for that. He says he understands that we won't have the superstars and it will ruin the club financially. Yes, that's the worry, Scott. But he says, but we have academy players that are on the cusp of the first team. Don't get me wrong, it will be a fight next year. But again, I use Derby as an example. They had to do exactly this because they couldn't sign anybody. And they got relegated to League One. And it's took them a few seasons. And they're still not guaranteed to get out of it this year, Scott. So it will be. Yeah, go on.
But saying we've got a few, there's only like Baybook, Alves, and that's it. There's only
Nelson,
two.
That's it.
Nelson. There's only 2 or 3 that are on the verge of the team and training with the side and that look at. They're the only names you hear. You don't hear of a full 11 names from the academy, which would be fantastic. It's worrying times. It really is worrying times. But it's about today, though. We've got to get them 3 points today.
I'm going to say, Jamie, I want today to be positivity. I really do. It's like we've just got to, as fans, we've said, as fans in the ground, you've got to make some noise. We're going to add Nick into the chat. Here's Nick.
You know, before Nick speaks, the most positive thing we could do? Play 2 up top, Phil, old school. That would be the most positive thing we could do. Bit of dinosaur football, bit of old school football, that would be positive.
It's not going to happen though, Jamie. It's
I
not going to
know,
happen.
I know.
But something needs to happen. Nick, let's get Nick's views. Nick, welcome to the show. I'm really asking you for positivity today about today's game. But my question to you, is today one of the most important days in our history?
Yeah, it's Shell, but let's be fair, it's a carbon copy of last season. We've got a stubborn manager that won't change it. We've got players that, when the chips are down, can't handle the pressure. And it is exactly what's going to happen like last season. And if we don't go up, we will get relegated to the League One next season. It's transfer embargo, malarkey and everything. We're going to lose players. We can't even sign Fatably, for God's sake, because we can't register it. So it's just a mess. And for me, heads need to roll. I think from top to bottom, that includes Whelan, Rudkin, and all the other so big wigs. It's not been right since we passed away, bless him. It's just getting worse and worse. And I'm the most positive fan you could come across. I'd love to see 2 up top today, but we're not going to see it because Enzo won't change his style. What about this so-called Plan B he came up with the other week? Where's that?
Well,
what's Plan B?
Earlier in the season, I know I was one of the people in September, October even saying sometimes you need to change tactics. And I was asking, why does Enzo in a game not change tactics? And I was shouted down. I was even told you can't talk about Plan Bs anymore because that's not how football is and that. But I'm sad to say I see so many people's comments now saying you're 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go. We have to change things a little bit. And really, again, at Bristol City on Friday, that was what we didn't see. We saw no change of pace or change of direction. Call it Plan B, call it what you want. But again, if needed today, I think Enzo needs to do it, but I don't foresee he will.
No, honestly, against Bristol City, it was the first time this season, as much as a lot of people have been before me, that Bristol City was the first time I was questioning why we've not changed it up. You're losing 1-0, you have to make the subs after they've scored. And it was like for like. Again, you need to switch something up, and like Enzo said in his press conference, over the international break, they've been planning to put a plan in place when you are in a losing position or in a position that you're not happy with to change it up, and he didn't do anything at all in that game. So hopefully today, if and hopefully not, but if we are in a losing position today, then hopefully he does switch it up in some way. Like the only time I've seen it do this season is when we played Chelsea and we put Vestergaard up front in a game that really doesn't matter. So why have we not done it so far this season other than one game in the FA Cup?
Jamie, that's really interesting what Reedy says there, because again, I was watching the Bristol City match, and I thought with 5 minutes to go, I thought, well, he's tried the Vestergaard up front route against Chelsea when we had to try and get something out of it. Why not? Surely I thought he was going to try it. I thought he'd finally, the pennies dropped, he'll try something different. But he just didn't. It's 91st minute free kick, which we don't put in the box. It's Hermansen playing it out from the back in the 94th minute, pass to Faze passes to Winks, Winks back to Faze in the 94th minute, and you're going again.
Just boot the bastard.
Jamie,
this is the new style of football, isn't it? This is the key ball. This is keep possession. This is the most best football in the world that you can play. No one doesn't play any other tactics apart from this. It's like his post-match interview. He says, "Oh, I didn't make any more changes because Harry Winks, Dewsbury Hall, Madadivi and Fatua were all having great games, and I couldn't see any reason in changing it." Really? Dewsbury Hall lost the ball 25 times, according to one of the data pages. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It seemed like it. He wasn't. He had the worst game. Winks had the worst. Madadivi, Fatua, they're not doing anything. They are not literally doing anything. This Madadivi hadn't had a contribution with a goal or assist in a league game since the Huddersfield game. And this interview Enzo did with, if a player's not performing, I'll drop him. Mm-hmm. Well, he's gone 12 games without a contribution. Surely that's not. And he doesn't take his man on. He can't beat a man. So where's that? The tactics. You make tactics. If he's a good manager, you can see what needs to be done through the game. You can change the tactics through the game. I don't think the plan for other than if Plan A isn't working, carry on with Plan A. And if Plan A point 1 isn't working, go with Plan A point 2. It's just not working.
The thing is with how Enzo plays, and I'm not trying to slate it, but for instance, Tom said against Bristol City that Mavadidi always had 3 men on him. Well, how do you resolve that? You
the
either
other way.
switch him up, or you literally do it differently. But because he's been told and always been in his head to try and just beat his man, and he can't do it, and he cuts inside, what else can you do? That's the system. That's what every team now can just see and look at and think, how did Hull beat us? How did Middlesbrough beat us? How did Ipswich draw to us? How did Leeds beat us both times? It's clear to see. You just got to make sure you do what they did to beat us, and they can.
I was going to say, Nick, I think Norwich have got a blueprint from other teams how to come and play, haven't they? There's not one way to come and play against Leicester potentially and win. There's 2 or 3, isn't it? Is either come and press us high and have a go at us, or sit back and just let us overpass it.
It's not something. Let's be fair. This is something that's relatively new. This has been going on, God knows how many seasons now. Teams worked this out ages ago. They put everybody behind the ball, and then as soon as people come to the King Power or whatnot, with everybody behind the ball, we can't break them down. And we've just never found a way of dealing with it. For me, today, bring all Brighton in. God's sake, bring all Brighton in. If you're going to play Vardy, all Brighton has to play.
They're not going to play Vardy, though, are
they? Fantastic point on Sunday, like he always does. They've got a telepathic link between them. Vardy knows what all Brighton does. All Brighton knows what Vardy does. But also playing all Brighton, not only does he give you the outlet for the attack, he gives you the defensive side as well. And let's be fair, Fatawu, bless him, he's all right when he wants to be, but he can be a headless chicken at times, and sometimes he can go in and you said that Hamza was a walking red card. You know.
Fatawu. I mean, Nick, let's get a few comments on here. LCFC Gray says, even when we score, how many people in the chat are confident we will go on to win the match? Terence says here, too much negativity. It ain't over yet behind the team. Get behind the team. Terence, 100% with you on that. If we win our game in hand, if we win today, we go top of the league. You know, it's there. What I think a lot of Leicester fans don't quite. There is so much negativity around because of what's been seen on the pitch since January the 1st. We're a mid-table form team, Terence. But the reality is, even after that woeful mid-average performances since January the 1st, it's in our hands. If we were to win the last 8 games, we promoted as champions. That's my understanding of it. It's there. It's in black and white. So that's why today is so important. And that's why I say fans do need to get behind the lads on the pitch, regardless of what goes on. But I'm going to go back to Jamie and say, I know you've said about 2 up top. He isn't going to do that. So trying to bring it into some sort of reality, Jamie, what tweaks would you make? We've talked about Mavididi not being on form for a lot of games. Fatawu being hit and miss. I don't think Vardy will make it after Friday today.
He'll be on the bench, I think.
What is positivity in the team today, according to how you think he might set up?
Well, all I can say is he brings Doyle in instead of Justin, and then he brings Patson Dakar instead of Vardy. I think that'll be the only changes. I don't think he'll change it. He'll keep it exactly the same. He likes the team he's got. It's a settled. Yes, it's a settled team. I've got to agree. It's a settled team. I'd love to see Cody. I'd love to see Cody. He might now he's back fit. Yeah, because of Hamza. Hamza hasn't been playing that well. Now Ricardo's fit. He gave him 20 minutes on Friday. Sorry. So he might bring him in there. But other than that, I think he'll keep it like. And Ricardo is one of his favourites anyway. So once he's fit, he'll come back in straight away instead of Hamza. But yeah, it's like for like. It'll be exactly the same formation. The thing I don't understand, just before we go on to that, Phil, was that a lot of the managers that play Leicester, we changed our lineup today. You don't hear Renzo saying that. We changed our lineup to play Leicester. It's the same lineup no matter what. But you heard Bristol City's manager, we changed the lineup. Leeds changed the lineup. Middlesbrough changed the lineup. And they didn't expect it.
Jamie, it's called managing and tactics and looking at what players you've got available. If Ricardo Pereira and Ndidi have been injured, well, we have to change the formation a bit. And if you're playing another team, like you're playing Norwich today, you need to play a bit different. You know, they're not. It's different to Bristol City away. Norwich at home, our tactics should be a bit more aggressive and progressive and faster. And again, surely the manager has to realise today. Got 30,000 fans there. Will it want us to score? Want us to be? And that to go 1-0 up and then go for it. The fans
Yeah.
are
That's the problem.
We need
That's
to
the
be.
problem.
Won't do
We
that,
need to be proactive more. We need to be proactive more than reactive in games with the tactics. We need to be ahead of the game, and that's the only way to do it. You can't sit back and wait until the opposition make the changes, then you make the changes. We've got to be the one that's proactive. And I've been using this for ages. Even last year, we weren't proactive enough. We were reactive to situations, and it's just annoying, really. It really is just annoying.
After forget everything, I just saw Jamie just go, oh!
I know.
It's like watching
I've
a
got my hands in my
Nick,
pockets because I'm used to using my hands a lot, so I'll put my hands in my pockets to hold them together.
Nick, are you nervous, excited, looking for? I mean, in a way, you're looking forward to today. It does make it exciting, Nick.
I feel
He looks really excited.
like a lamb that's getting ready for somebody's roast.
At least he's not delivering my post today. That's the main thing.
No, it's all right. I'll be back on it tomorrow.
Oh.
But just, I mean, me and Locks. I went on Locks' show on Friday, and I was fuming like a lot of fans were. But it takes a lot for me to stop backing a little bit. But just what I saw on Friday, you'd think everything that was going on with the club behind the scenes, it would give them a kick up the arse to actually get something sorted and get going. And if anything, it had the opposite effect. It's like the players are just looking around and they ain't got a clue what the hell's going on.
Well, Nick, I don't know who wants to react to this one, but so Chris put just here, when Cody starts, we have never lost. Again, I'm going to come back. We've had this debate for the last 3 or 4 years. This is when the shit hits the wall or the fan. When the shit hits the fan, the players look around and they need a leader on the pitch. We haven't had a leader who is I mean, Enzo Maresca this year has even said, I'm not picking somebody to be club captain. We're all going to be captains, which I sort of understand that ethos. But we need somebody like Cody to step forward and be like, I am sorting this on the pitch. Because it's one thing Enzo saying from the sidelines to this. You need a leader on the pitch. So
we ain't had the leader. Morgan retired.
We need an old-fashioned, old-school leader on the pitch, Phil. And Connor Cody is that man.
Well, we bought him to do that, didn't we, Jamie? He was bought.
I thought we did. Because of that injury pre-season, and then at the start of the season, Vestergaard and FaZe, yes, they did play well. They made a good team together. But when he's come in, apart from I think maybe Chef Wednesday away or maybe QPR away, he's played well. I think he's had one half bad game, whatever you call it. But yeah, he deserves to be playing now. We keep letting in goals, consistently letting in goals. The Vestergaard FaZe partnership, yes, it worked well before Christmas. Since Christmas and New Year, it's not make changes. Change it.
If it's not working,
Simple as.
You've got to change it. Yeah.
The old saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, this is broke at the minute, and it needs fixing.
Yeah, like I said, I think Cody should be starting now. FaZe has been very, very off it the last couple of games, and as much as like Jamie says, the partnership between Vestergaard and FaZe was very, very good before Christmas. Cody needs to come in, and I think as well for me, JJ needs dropping because he's been very, very average or even woeful the last couple of performances. He just isn't a centre back, and as much as when you play more attacking, he goes into the left back role. Someone like Doyle was brought in to be in that position at the start of the season, and because Doyle got injured, that's the reason JJ got in.
Let's get a few fans' comments up. Andrew says here, City currently have lost momentum or a negative mindset in there. Scott says he'll drop FaZe, Mavadidi, Chowdhury from the last game. Thoughts on that? We'll come on to that. Jordan tells me off for swearing. I'm sorry, Jordan. Honestly, I've been doing this for probably 10 years or so now with you all, and I do apologise for a swear word that comes out. I guess it's just one of those days where the pressure is already building on us as fans, but you're right. I'm trying to build up that excitement level to get everybody going, so apologies if your kids are watching. I think I said the S word, which is not the worst word ever. Chris says Cody is a typical Scouser and very vocal. Apparently, what I hear is that Cody is like in the dressing room, is like the ringleader and is the one who starts all the good stuff going in the dressing room, on the coach, on the bus. But yet, you think, take that onto the pitch maybe in there.
Well, it would make sense, wouldn't it?
I think his best performance was against Bournemouth, and it showed. Obviously, the early in the season, I wasn't too confident on him because he just didn't look like he fit the system. And I think Jamie agreed with me that when he was playing earlier in the season, he just didn't look suitable in the role. But again, you're not winning games at the moment. You're conceding so many goals. You need to switch things up. Like I say, take a few defenders out and put some players in that deserve a start. Like Ben Nelson, I think he's had a couple of good games when he's been in. So when is it right to change the team up? You can't just stick with the same team and hopefully it pulls you something out of the bag.
Unfortunately, Reedy, Nelson's injured at the minute, though.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's you've got to switch something up, and Locks has been asking for Cody for I don't know how many games now, and it's not happening. So if we go, okay, I'll ask this to all three of you. If we go into this game today at 11:30 and we see the same team as we started at Bristol City,
toxic.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. If you see the word Cody in there, if you see the word Albrighton in there, or if you see the word Ricardo Pereira instead of Chowdhury, you'd think maybe he's changed it up a bit. But I honestly think we'll go to 11:30 and we'll see the same team as we did against Bristol City.
I would assume Vardy may get rested, but for me, this is where they need to dig deep and say, Jamie, please, can you... I know he missed... Don't get me wrong, on Friday, if Daka had missed those sitters, we'd have all been on his back. Absolutely on his back.
Well, Reedy wouldn't have, would he? Reedy wouldn't have.
Well, no, but I would have been on Daka's back if he'd have missed those chances that Vardy had, because they were, I mean, Daka missed that clear chance against Bury, he missed that clear chance against, multiple times this season. Leeds, yeah, Vardy missed... That would have been the difference.
But he's got precedent in there.
But Jamie Vardy's earned the right to miss some shots and not get called out. If you ask
me, has he, Phil?
But...
Sorry, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I think he has.
Just because he scored 185 goals for us, he hasn't got the right to miss sitters like that. I don't think he's got goals in the bank for that. He should be taking them all day long.
Yeah, he needs to.
I'm the biggest Vardy fanboy going, and he'll be there with Steve Walsh in my opinion. But what Matt bluffed on Friday, I would have staked next week's wages on him and put one of them behind, for God's sake. And like Rick said, I'd be pointing him out and stuff. He's not immune from it, in my opinion. But what these players need to realise, if they go in today with that performance they did on Friday and still the same, they think it was toxic over at Bristol. 32,000 Leicester fans going crackers because they're not happy and we're falling away. Do you remember when O'Neill, years ago, against United, really won't even a baby, probably. The right outside of Philbo, I'll tell you what, it'll be closer to that, I tell you.
I mean, just before we wrap up, guys, the last question will be what are score predictions. But before that, I want to ask any of you, we'll start with Jamie first, and then we'll go to Reedy and then Nick. I'm asking all fans to back the lads. I think it's the usual. When it was big games like this over the years, I've always thought, get in the ground early, get in your seats early. Let's start singing some songs early. Let's make some noise before the match. It's very hard before the match to build up any noise because of how they have the tannoy so loud. I'd love to see Birch out on the pitch today to do a proper rally cry. I know, for me, I know Birch has not had the best of health over the last few years, and I would worry to say put Birch out in the middle of a pitch. It might be too much for him. But if Birch can't do it, put Steve Walsh out there. It is not rocket science. The guy works for the club on match days. Put Steve Walsh out in the middle of the pitch and give us a rally cry and get all the fans going with 10, 15 minutes to go. And let's build up a raucous cup final attitude between the fans and the players before the kickoff even starts. I've said about the club should put clappers out there. Whether they will, they won't. Whether people love them or hate them, they make some noise. I'd be interesting, Jamie. Do you think the club are going to add anything more to today's game because they understand the importance of it or not?
We can't afford the clappers.
I think the atmosphere is absolutely useless at the King Power. Yes, Union FS have tried their best to sort it out, but that one little block, it doesn't make a huge difference. The fans have got to get behind the players, but also the players have got to give the fans something to get behind. And I've been saying that, I know I sound a bit like a broken record, but But until the players give the fans something to get behind, it is hard work. You need something to give you that lift. You need it to give you that lift in the crowd, to stand up, to shout, to clap, to stamp your feet. There's times I've been in that ground against Spurs in last February when we won 4-1. What an atmosphere that was. The crowd was pumping. We were playing well. And then since then, it has just died. Nothing has happened. We need the atmosphere back in the crowd. And like you say, a bit of old school player on the pitch, giving all the fans the G up and that, like Birch used to do. And like you say, Walshy would be absolutely fantastic because we've had Stevie Walsh on here and he talks a good game. And you've spoke to him a lot, Phil. And he talks to a good game about it. He knows he's Mr. Leicester City. If anybody is Leicester, he is. Cuts him and Leicester will pour out of him. Same as Birch. But we need someone like that to give the fans a G up before the game. Go up them, take the mickey out, have banter. There's nothing like that happens anymore. You and me, Phil, back in the 80s and the 90s when there used to be Birch used to come out and do stuff before the game to get the crowd up and going. Nothing like that happens no more. Nothing like whether it's the Premier League or the AFL don't let it happen anymore. But it's just one of them things. We need something to give them a boost. And like you say, getting Mr. Leicester City there, or Birch, either Birch or Walshy. I think that was fantastic, but it just won't happen. The club, they're so disjointed. The silence is absolutely deafening from the club at the minute about everything. You don't hear anything. It's just, we need the players to give the fans something.
Mm. It's a two-way streak, isn't it, Nick?
Yes. Oh, sorry, yeah.
But I mean, like, my mentality has always been, where we are now, 10, 20, whatever, all I want to see effort on the pitch. All I ever ask my club, as long as I see everything on the pitch, 90 minutes and going for it, that's all I ever ask. Whether we lose or win. But even if, I'll tell you what, even if the fans today look for that, or do you know what, like, we're struggling a little bit, then the crowd will get behind it. That's what anybody wants to see. And like you said, I love your idea about Walsh. You've got Tag at Power because they do the commentary on the website. Bring them on as well. Three of Martin.
I mean, I'd love Birchie to do it.
The back line, Nick. That'd be a fantastic back line.
I mean, I'd love Birchie out there to do it because over the all my life, Birchie's been there. But I get it. He is not in the best of health, and he's mid to late 70s. So it maybe is time for somebody else to be out there before the game. A club legend who's been there, seen there, done it. That fans know.
Wes Morgan.
This guy. Yeah, Wes Morgan maybe, but I think Walsh is there, and I know a lot of youngsters will say, "Who's this guy?" Well, there's enough of us who'll tell you what this guy's done for the club. Who would literally walk onto a pitch with the guy walked onto a pitch in a playoff final with legs that wouldn't work and scored 2 goals and dragged us up. So really, what can the club do today? As I know what the fans can do. What can the club do?
If I'm totally honest, I haven't got a clue. Again, for me, it's just about getting the good performance out there. Even in the first minute where you get a good challenge in from, I don't know, whoever it is, just to get the fans riled up and ready because they know that the team wants to try and go for it. Like, see, you've seen Winks do it many times where he's got a good tackle in. Yes, he might get a foul for it, but it shows that they're up for it. For me, that's all I ask for. Like Nick says, just give a bit of fight. Even if we do lose, and as much as, obviously, I know it's a big thing if we lose, but you just got to show the effort and fight. That's all I can ask.
I think that's what everybody is asking for today is effort and fight. And I mean that from the fans as well. Let's have some real noise out there. Let's get some score predictions in. It's going to be an interesting one today. Anything could happen. Let's start with you, Jamie, over at the Foxes in Alcudia. What is your actual score prediction for today?
I'm not going to give the course prediction. I just want to win. I just want to win. I don't care what the score is. 5-4, 1-0 with a goal in the last minute off someone's backside. I don't care. I just want us to win. I'm not going to give you a score prediction, Phil, because I haven't got a clue. I just want a win. And I'll be happy with a win. A win at all costs. Sorry, I'm not going to. Just a win. Any kind of win. A crappy, scrappy, tippy-tappy win or a fantastic barnstorming win. I don't care. Just a win, please.
Just a win. Forget score predictions.
Forget Jamie, score predictions. Just a win.
Just a win. Reedy?
Oh, I've said it before and I'm saying it again. It's going to be a Desmond 2-2. I'm sorry. Hopefully we can get a win, but for me, it's going to be a very tough game. So I think it's going to be a very close game, and I think it's going to end 2-2.
It's probably not good enough, is it, Reedy?
It's not. It's not good enough, but we should have been getting the points at Bristol City. That's the case. That's where we needed to get points. And I think Tom said at the game with me, saying I'd be happy with 4 points with a Bristol City win and a draw here. Again, it's not going to be an easy game today. For me, it would have been good to get 4 points out of the 2 games. But now, realistically, it must be 3 points today.
Yeah. Nick, how about you? Score predictions?
I think this is going to be a horrible game to watch. I think it's going to be stupid. My head says 2-1, but my heart says, and that's 2-1 to Norwich. But my heart says, 3-1 Leicester. But I don't know. For me, it all depends on what he's going to do with his squad. If we,
today,
if we see him.
The reason I think today's pivotal is because, and I think pivotal to the last, because it's the start of this last 8 games, it literally could go either way today. And I think if we were to draw, obviously it puts you in no man's land a bit. If we were to lose today, I think that's meltdown. I think fans probably feel like we've shot it.
It's out of the hands. It's out of the hands. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If we lose today, it's out of our hands. I thought it was out of hands before, but it is that. It will be if we lose today.
We were 17 points ahead of Leeds. To lose today, I think fans would go, we have capitulated.
I just want to see some out that have not been playing well for God knows how many games now. That includes Navidi, Bass and stuff. Bring Cody in, bring Albrighton. You can put Battery on the left, for God's sake, and Albrighton on the right. And if he does make a change, it's like for like, and it's Daka starting instead of Vardy, instead of bringing Nacho on, it's been so cold out of the squad that you may as well have been in an Antarctica. Why don't you bring something different? Like, you got Albrighton can whip the balls in, bring Cannon into the fold.
He's injured.
That aerial threat. Positive, not just like for like. Do something different.
But like I was saying that this is like a pivot point. If we win today, and especially if results go nicely for us, I think, and then you suddenly look forward to Birmingham, Jamie, on Saturday, and you go, win today, Birmingham at home. That should be a win. 6 points. You could Saturday at like 5-6 o'clock at night. We could be in a very, very different position. That's why I think it's all so much one way or the other way today.
It's the old swingometer, isn't it? It doesn't know which way it's going, but yeah, I don't know, Phil. I really don't know. I'm just nervously not even excited, just nervous about it.
The biggest thing about the rest of the season is we've not got the form that the other teams have. That's the problem, and we at the moment can't seem to get out of this rut that we're in.
It needs to start today.
The moment we get out of that rut, the moment we get that win, I think it will bounce us. I think it will give us a good chance to do what we need to do.
Listen, I'm going to wrap it up. Sorry, Nick. Go on, say your last thing.
I was just going to say, if we win today and there is a bit of fight, next Saturday against Birmingham, it will rock and the atmosphere will build up because, we've actually seen something. But it all depends on what we're going to see on the pitch, and it all depends on who's coming in and who's going out.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to let everybody go. Reedy, you need to go and get your bus, mate.
I know.
Come on. Get out of here. Thanks, Reedy. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Nick.
Cheers up. See you later.
See you later, guys.
Enjoy the match.
We'll try. All right,
I'll let them all go. Thanks so much to those guys. Let's get your final score predictions on air. Tim says 2-0 to Leicester. Let's turn it all round on air. Chris says 2-1. Jeff says 1-2 loss. Gray's 2-1 win. Andy's 1-0. Craig's 1-0. Tony says 2-1. It's happening. Thanks, Tony. Please, can you make that so? But David goes 1-2 to Norwich. 2-0, says Chris in here. Gray says backside deflection winner in there. Tim says 2-0, but let's have Cody Doyle and Albrighton in there. Reed is in panic mode. Bliss, come on, Leeds, says Nipper, obviously a Leeds fan in there. Craig says, I think it'd be like all of the games, chances to win, chances conceded, mistakes made, passing out, etc. Could go either way. I think you're in there. Andreas, 2-1 to Leicester. Robert, 3-1 to Leicester. Listen, Crypto says 8-0. Hey, you never know, it's Leicester. Anything could happen in there. anything could happen. Try your very best to make some noise and back the lads. Whatever happens, we always ask that. Back the lads. After the game, we'll be going live. I'm going to do a fan zone show when I get back from the match rather than at 7:30 tonight. So join me straight after, well, not straight after foot. I've got to drive back from Leicester, get back, switch things on. But it will probably be at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. We'll be going live. Hopefully, we'll be just chatting nicely about a decent home win, a decent performance. But whatever happens, we'll be here. We were there in League One. We were there in the Championship. We were there at the top of the Premier League. We'll be there wherever we are next season, as will you. So kick back in the lads, make some noise, and let's hope that it goes the way we all need it to go today. I'll see you down at the game. Come and say hello. Give us your views. See you next time. See you at 3:34.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, Everod's, Barlow Blinds, Poker Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hologram, Take Me, Nubian Cow, The Fox's Arms and Rainbows. Run by the fans, for the fans. Follow us on socials at Leicester Fan TV and visit LeicesterFanTV.com for all the latest news, views and videos.